Hey everybody. In the last video, I talked about imperialism, colonialism, and missions. All right. In this video, I want to talk a little bit more about trends in global Christianity and missions more in the modern era. Okay. I think this information really adds to the conversation in some important ways. In past semesters, I've talked about this at the end of the semester, but I thought bringing kind of the whole mission conversation, global trends in religion conversation together would be more useful for you. Okay. So, global trends in religion shifted dramatically over the 20th century. Okay. Now I want you to think a little bit about History 1 again. All right. So in History 1, I talk about how Christianity became associated with Europe. All right. This process really starts in the early Middle Ages, but by the time the Reformation comes around, many Europeans can't even really remember a time when Christianity was anything but European. Okay. Now I have to note that there were always Christians kind of all around the globe, but their numbers were small, and kind of Christendom, countries that really associated themselves with Christianity were largely in Europe. Okay, now the 20th century completely changes this conversation. All right, so here's some statistics. In 1910, 90% of Europe was Christian. As of 2018, only about 71% of Western Europeans identify as Christian. Now, you have to remember that there's a difference between active participation in religious life and saying that one identifies with the Christian tradition. Okay, and this goes for all polls, but here I actually have something up on the screen that sort of shows you the difference here in Western Europe. So according to polls, though, only about 22% of Western Europeans attend a religious service of any kind at least once a month. Now let's turn to the United States. The U.S., of course, the decline has been less severe than Europe, but for many Christian denominations, there has been a rapid change over the last couple of decades. We know this, we hear about it. All right, so while Christians continue to make up the majority of the U.S. population, the numbers are in decline. Today, 63% of the U.S. population identifies as Christian, which is down from 75% only a decade ago. And currently, about 29% of Americans consider themselves nones. Mainline Protestants have been hit the hardest, with 52% of Americans identifying as mainline in 2007 and a mere 40% in 2021. Okay, that's a big decline in a short amount of time, all right? That's one of the reasons we're talking about this topic all the time around here. Okay, now, so we've got that on the one hand, but now we need to think about Christianity in more of a global sense, all right? Because if I just left you those numbers, you'd be all doom and gloom. But while Europe became less and less Christian, Asia and Africa became more so, all right? In 1910, Asia was 2.4% Christian. In 2010, it was 9%. Okay, so 9% may seem low, but Asia has the largest population of any continent on the globe, and that mere 9% translates to hundreds of millions of people. The gains in Africa are actually a lot more pronounced, all right? In 1910, Africa was 9.4% Christian. Now it's 48% Christian, all right? That's an incredible amount of growth in 1 century, all right? Christianity has broken out from its Western corner to really be a truly global faith again, as it was long ago. Now, another matter to consider when one begins to discuss, the death of Christianity in the West is that over the past 100 years or so, the total number of Christians globally has quadrupled. Okay, in 1910, there were about 600 million Christians. In 2010, there were about 2 billion. Kind of how that breaks down by kind of type, about a little over 1 billion are Catholic, about 300,000 are Orthodox, and the rest are Protestant of the various traditions. Okay. Now, I do have to note that a lot of this growth was due to overall population increase. because the like percentage of Christians globally hasn't changed that much, but it has increased. In 1910, 32% of the global population was Christian. Now or at least in 2010, 35% was. Okay. However, this distribution of Christianity has changed significantly. All right. And I have an image up on the screen where it shows kind of the breakdown. In 1910, Europe had 66.3% of the total number of global Christians, and America had 27.1. Obviously, there's more information up there, but those are the really big ones. As far as like percentage of Christians globally, in 2010, Europe had 25.9%. Okay, so 63 to 25 is that, or 66% to 25%. That's a huge difference. And the Americas actually had 36%. Okay, and then you can see the other percentages up there as well. Now, kind of keeping all that in mind, what does that mean for global missions? All right, we are now in a position where missionaries from Africa, from Asia, from Latin America are coming to, the West, bringing the good news. Okay, so here's some pretty interesting trends in global missions. Despite the long tradition of missionaries being sent from Europe and North America, the portion of long-term missionaries hailing from the global north is declining. In 2021, there was 227,000 missionaries, which made up about 227,000 missionaries from the global north, which made up 53% of the total missionaries in the world. Okay, this is down 88% from 1970. All right, whereas missionaries from the global south now make up 40% of the total, a little over 200,000 people. Okay. And this shift has happened really quickly. So in 1970, for example, only 31,000 or 12% of total missionaries hailed from the global south. All right. So now it's almost even between global north, global south. Okay. And the United States still sends out the most missionaries. However, a number of other countries are doing so as well. Notable ones: South Korea, Brazil, India, South Africa, the Philippines, Mexico, China, Colombia, and Nigeria are all pretty major senders of Christian missionaries. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, it means that Christianity's changed a lot in the last 100 years. I'm sure you've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. The church isn't dying, but the church is changing, and we need to kind of accept that, and we need to think about Christianity in different ways than we have in the past. Germany isn't the center of Christianity anymore, all right? We need to really be paying attention to the voices where Christianity is growing, okay? All right, I'm going to wrap this video up. I know I gave you a whole lot of statistics, but I hope that it's helpful when you think about kind of the future of Christianity. All right, thanks everybody.